الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. ما بعد، فإن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة بالنار. أما بعد. My dear respect brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khair for tuning in, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this gathering for his sake, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our gathering. Today, brothers and sisters, we're going to be talking about we're going to be continue to talk about the book of Ibn Al-Qayyim, which is Ad-Da' wa Dawa, the disease and the cure. And today we're going to be touching on an important subject, which is why Muslims, they believe what they believe, yet they don't act on their belief. And Ibn Al-Qayyim, he said, the worst type of arrogance, or the worst type of pride that someone could have, is that someone is so proud of the dunya that he has. What does it mean that someone is so proud of the dunya that he has? He is so attached to this dunya. He's so attached to this world. He is so happy with it. He's enjoying every bit of this world, to the point I think that he thinks that he is not going to die one day, and he's going to be living in this world forever. And that's what we call ghurur dunya, that he is so proud, he is so arrogant that he exists in this dunya, to the point that he forsakes the hereafter and what's come with the hereafter. And that's the mistake that many Muslims and that do, in which that they're so attached to this dunya, to the fact that they have neglected the hereafter. And Ibn Al-Qayyim, he gives examples. He gives examples what some people would say. And he says some people would say, الدنيا نقد والآخرة نسيئة والنقد أنفع من النسيئة. Some people would say what? They said, dunya is a fact. This world is a fact. We see it. No one can doubt this world. And the hereafter is something after. So and something that you see, something that you deal with, is better than something that is gonna come later. As some people would say, a bird in your hand better than a bird, 10 birds in the tree. This is if it's true. And some people would say, some people would make an argument. They said, dunya mutayaqina. The dunya is a fact. A dunya that I could see it. وَلَذَّاتُ الْآخِرَةِ مَشْكُوكٌ فِيهَا. But the luxuries of the hereafter is something that is in doubt. That's what some Muslims say. They said, well, we don't know. This world is a fact. We deal it. We see it. Why should I give up something that I see? So why would I give up with something that I feel, with something that I'm doubt with? We read the Quran, we believe in some things here and there is going to come later, but it's a doubt. Or some people will say, like Ibn Al-Qayyim said, some people they say, well, this is dunya, is the world is something that we see, something that we deal with, but the hereafter is something later. Well, God knows when is it going to come. And he said this is one of the worst tricks that the shaitan will play on us, and how he would persuade us and tell us, yeah, this is true, this is the argument, this is logic, and this is how the shaitan would trick son of Adam. This is the way the shaitan would trick many of the human beings. Would tell them, look, man, dwell in this world, do it, be happy, take advantage of it, do as much as you can, enjoy it. The hereafter, this is something that we read in these old books, and God knows whether you're going to live, whether you're going to witness it or not. But brothers and sisters, Ibn Al-Qayyim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, he said, the animals are much more smarter than the ones who say such. Allahu Akbar. He said, for someone to make these claims, to say that the dunya, the world is here, and we taste it and we feel it, and the hereafter is something later, or the hereafter is something is in doubt, for someone to make these claims, the animals are much more smarter and have more rationality than them. Why? He said, because an animal, he would fear something that he may be approaching, or something that he heard about. Even an animal, he would fear something that is approaching, or something that he would hear about. If you tell an animal, behind this big rock there is going to be a lion, he would not come by the rock. If you tell a sheep, after behind the tree, there is a tiger, he would not come by that tree. If you tell a rabbit that behind this field there is a wolf, the rabbit would not go by this field. Why? Because he fear something even though he did not see it. You know. So how and he tell us. So what will be the appropriate respond for someone who says, this dunya is here, and the hereafter is something is going to come later. You know, the question he asked, and he would tell us. He said, "Is is the dunya the dunya and the hereafter, are they equal? Are they equal? Or someone is better than the other? Yes, maybe we feel the dunya, but are they equal when it comes to value? Are they equal when it comes to reward? Are they equal when it comes to a lifespan? You know, the question is, brothers and sisters, and as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell us, وَمَا الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم وَمَا الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ كما يدخل أحدكم إصبعه في اليم فلينظر بما ترجع. He said, if the example of this world to the hereafter, as if someone would take his finger and he would dip it in the water and take it out, how much water he would have sticking in his finger. This is how much this world in comparison to the hereafter. Allahu Akbar. So the question here, brothers and sisters, is that this world is nothing. It's in compared to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing for us in the hereafter. When it comes to beauty, when it comes to luxury, when it comes to even punishment, brothers and sisters. For someone to give up, something small, something that he sees, the little that we see in this dunya, for the magnitude and the reward and the time that we're going to be living in the hereafter, it is considered one of the most, stupidest thing that any human being would have ever done. And this is considered to be the extreme of ignorance. The extreme of ignorance is someone, he would give up something small to something huge in the hereafter. And the question is, brothers and sisters, and we always say this: what is your lifespan in this dunya? What is your lifespan in this dunya in comparison to the hereafter? You might, if you're lucky enough, you might live 60 or 70 or 80 years. But in the hereafter, how much are you going to be living? How much are you going to live in your grave? How much are you going to live in your grave? We see people living in their graves now thousands of years. How much are you going to be living in your grave? How much are you going to be living in the hereafter? خالدين فيها ما دامت السماوات والأرض إلا ما شاء ربك عطاء غير مقطوع. How much are you going to be living in the hereafter in comparison to this dunya? So are you going to give up the 60 or 70 years that you possibly might live in this world to the eternity that you're going to be living in the hereafter? Is that something that you're worth giving up for? Seriously? So brothers and sisters, this is something that you have to think about. And it's something that you have to consider. And for those who would say, I'm willing to give up this world. I'm willing to give up this world, that is a fact, for something that is doubtful, the hereafter. And the answer to that is the following. It's either that you are in doubt of the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you are confident of the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So pick one. Are you sure of the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to resurrect us? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring us out of our graves? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to gather us in the hereafter? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to account us? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put us right in front of him, and he's going to judge each and every second that we have done in this world? Are you in doubt of that? Or this is a fact for you? Because if you are if you are confirmed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to account you, and you believe that from the bottom part of your heart, then how would you give up the few seconds for the eternity of the hereafter? How are you going to give up something small for the huge magnitude of reward that you're going to be in the hereafter? What would you enjoy few seconds, few years here for being punished in the hereafter? This is if you are confident that you're going to be sitting in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what about but if you're in doubtful, and that's something يعني great that unfortunately many Muslims now are يعني are in. If you're in doubt of this, then Ibn al-Qayyim, he would tell you, then go over the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that indicates his existence, that shows his ability, that shows how much he's able to do, that shows his monotheism, that shows that he is truthful, that shows the truthlessness of his messengers, that who have told us about him, that tells us how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have sent his prophets who told us of him, and who were truthful, it indicates that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Khaliq. He is the creator of everything, the heavens and the earth and everything. And and this is sincerity, brothers and sisters. If you tell this to a worldly king, if you are in doubt of the abilities of a worldly king, it's considered to be some sort of if someone is in doubt of a worldly king, that's considered to be some sort of it's considered to be as if you are cursing him, as if you're humiliating him. What about when you are in doubt of the abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of all kings? brothers and sisters if son of Adam would take a moment and would ponder and think about his existence, and how was he created, and how he was blessed, and the kind of things that he has, and the way that he's walking or running while in his world, and he would wallahi, he would not look and waste his time left and right, other than trying to satisfy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, other than trying to follow the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, other than trying to fulfill the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and try to run away from anything that would get him away from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, if son of Adam would think about this and would ponder about this, and he would, give this good thinking, and he would put his insight into this, wallahi, he would find so many indications of the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He would find so many indications of the truthlessness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his existence, and how he have sent his prophets, and how we're going to come back to him, and how the Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you in the Quran, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَا تُبْصِرُونَ وَمَا لَا تُبْصِرُونَ إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ, I don't swear by the things that you see and the things that you don't see. He is indeed a truthful prophet. He's indeed a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to think and ponder, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ, don't think about your creation. Think about how you made. Think about how you came into existence. All these things would make you think, I would make you ponder, I would make you realize that there is only one God, and this God is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, but so but a rightful question that many people would ask, and he said, is it possible? Is it possible that someone would be really, really a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He believed in God, and he had no doubt. He have no doubt of the coming of the hereafter, and he have no doubt that there is a heaven, and he have no doubt that there is a hell, but yet he is still lazy, acting upon the things he's supposed to be doing. You know, and is it possible, part of our nature as human beings, that that you know that one day you're going to be accounted for each and everything that you're going to be doing, that one day you're going to be sitting in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to count you, and he might destine you to either heaven or hell, and yet you sleep, and you lazy, and you neglect, and you delay things. Is it possible? Brothers and sisters, yes, it's possible, but this is considered to be one of the amazing things that human beings doing and continue to do. It's amazing. You believe in something, yet you're not acting on it. You believe in something, yet you're not acting on it. And the number one prime cause for this is the fact that you have weakness in knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and weakness in certainty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you're not acting in this, because if you are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. Indeed, that those who are most fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are whom? Are the scholars. Because the more knowledge that you do, the more you're going to be acting on this knowledge. And not everybody have the same knowledge, not everybody have the same knowledge. Even sometime when you have a little bit of knowledge, you want to have more knowledge, and you want to have more certainty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For instance, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim. The story of Sayyidina Ibrahim. What happened when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال ربي أرني كيف تحيي الموتى. After all the miracles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Sayyidina Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ibrahim, what he said, oh Allah, show me how you resurrect, or how you give life to the death. And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him why, he said, so my faith would increase, ولكن ليطمئن قلبي, so I could have more tranquility for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even Sayyidina Ibrahim. But yes, so knowledge it varies, and the more knowledge, the more certain that you would become. And Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he said, ليس الخبر كالمعاينة. ليس الخبر كمعاينته. Like, it's not equal for someone to hear about something versus when someone sees something. They're not the same. When you see something, it becomes a reality, rather than when you hear about something. So that's why when someone have weakness in their knowledge, and they have, and his heart is not attached to it, his heart is not attached to the thing that he believes in, and because of the fact that he is so busy with worldly things, and because his desires is overtaking him, and because of the fact that he have so many luxuries that he is in, and because of his nafs would tell him, come, tomorrow, and keep delaying this, and because the shaitan is seducing him, and because of the fact that he is, he said this promise is kind of becoming later, and the fact that he thinks that he's going to be living longer, and the fact that he is in negligence and in ghafla, and because of the fact that he takes advantage of permissions here and there, because of all of these reasons, people have different levels of faith. And sometimes the shaitan and your desire and your own hawa would overtake you and decrease your faith to the point that you would have none. And for someone to collect this and become a better Muslim and a better believer, he have to dig down into himself. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have praised those who have insight, and those who have who have sight and insight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. And we have made from them scholars or imams, they would guide with our guidance, after they have become patient and they were certain of our verses. So it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of struggle. It's not easy, but you have to struggle against your own self, and you have to struggle against your own desires, and you have to struggle against your own Satan, and you have to struggle against the luxuries that exist around you, and etc. So, brother and sister, it's not easy. There's a constant struggle, and the more you struggle, the more you would be able to make yourself more available to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the more you seek knowledge, the more you would see it, rather you would feel as if you are seeing it rather than just hearing it, you know because brothers and sisters, if someone tells you about something that he has seen, and he tells you one fact about it, you would have only one part of that picture. But if the same individual come back to you and tell you, well, here is another 10 facts, you know, like for instance, somebody tell you, I've seen a tree. Okay, the only thing that comes to you is a tree, but he when he come back to you and tell you, well, this tree is tall, this tree have fruits, this tree is big, this tree is giant, this tree have many fruits, this tree is located in this place, you would have a better picture of it. So the more you would know about this tree, the more that you imagine it as if you are seeing it. So the more knowledge that you have, the more that you would be able to picture the hereafter, the more you be able to believe better in the hereafter. So with patience, after you have the patience, after you have all of this knowledge, you would also need patience that keep you away from all these side things that try to steal your mind away from dedicating it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the way that you would become more confident. And that's the way you become less in doubt. And that's the way you become more busy doing things that you're supposed to be doing as a human being. But unfortunately, we live in a world nowadays where the average human being is being pulled away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with many things. Whether it was family, whether it was work, whether it was social media, whether it was the TV, whether it was, your bad friends, whether it was sitting in front of the computer, whether it was your phone, and all that thing. So, brothers and sisters, it's important. It's very important that we do what we would focus, and we seek more knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we would work hard and have patience to dedicate ourselves so we could have less doubt and more certainty for us to go and believe in Rabb al-Alameen. Jazakum Allah khair. And I hope this will become our lesson for today. And I hope this will be beneficial to all of us. I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would accept from us. And I hope that everybody would be benefited from this lesson. If you have benefited even one thing, and please share this video, and so more people would benefit. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.